Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Mixed Tag Show probably brings to you Straight Shoe Sundays with your boy Blue Magic. Now, this week we do have Emilio Sparks from Wrasslerap and amongst other things joining us today. Make sure you tune in, make sure you get your questions in. For those that don't know, I do have these hoodies still available, Black Lives Matter, NWO style, Wolfpack style, and original black and white. Available at fouryearwear.com. If you want, holla at that. We got a lot to talk about this past week. I just watched Sacrifice, Impact Sacrifice, which is pretty interesting pay-per-view that we don't, I don't usually watch Impact, but I decided to give it a chance, and it was really a dope episode. A lot of things happened in terms of AEW, NXT, SmackDown. I don't remember anything from Raw, but I guess that's like the common theme, right? We don't really. I mean, Bobby Lashley beat The Miz, and he had a dope interest. I ain't gonna hold you. His interest is pretty dope. I'm trying to think of what closed out the night. I can't. If you remember what closed out Raw, just give me a quick reminder. I would truly appreciate it. As we, feel the time to get Emilio in here. Also, if you haven't known, we getting a stimulus this coming week. If you didn't get it yet, your account looking light like mine. It's coming. You gotta hold off on it. I know we're excited about that. Also, they announced that WrestleMania will be having at least 45,000 fans in attendance this year. After having to reboot everything from last year when they didn't have any fans at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out with that. And then, let me see if I get Emilio on here. All right. So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to when this upcoming wrestling and situations like that. The main event was the Orton stuff, right? What was the Orton stuff that happened on Raw? See, I think I tuned it out. The whole Orton and the Fiend thing kind of took like a very, very dark turn for me. When you start putting up like 5-point stars and like that kind of stuff, I kind of like tune you out because I don't like to bring that kind of negativity. Not negativity, but that kind of energy into my home. So I was like, oh no, that's what he cost. That's what they cost him the match against. Yeah, it sounds familiar. But anyway, so that's that happened this past week on Raw. But yeah, definitely. But Sacrifice had a dope match with the unification of the Impact title and TNA Championship title. Again, I don't usually watch Impact or TNA like that, so that was a pretty dope pay-per-view in my opinion. The Good Brothers versus Finn Juice was a very great tag team match. I really enjoyed it. The women's matches was incredible. They had 3 women matches, 3.5 if you include Rosemary's Decay winning the first match. They have a woman leading their faction. I thought that was kind of different. It's not something that you see every day kind of thing. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that. How you feel about the 2-belt Swan? 2-belt Swan is dope. Like that match was like even my wife was watching it and she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Impact." So what's Impact? I'm like, I don't usually watch this, but I'm watching it because it has a dope. It would seem to be dope. And she saw the finish and she's like, "Oh, that's different. I like this." I'm like, "Yeah." Like I didn't expect him to like pull off that win like that. I don't know. Is there a word if there's gonna be a new title, or are they just gonna dissolve one and keep the other? How they planning to handle this in terms of having it merging together? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, is there a way? I would like to see I like to see new titles, right? So if they're gonna bring a new title into this, I would definitely be up for that. All right, we have Emilio in the room. I'm about to send him the request. Down for you. I love new designs of titles. So if it's a situation, then I would definitely go for it. Emilio,
Yo,
my brother, how are you?
in the words of Brody Lee.
Love it.
What's going on, man? Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I know you be busy, man. You out here working.
I actually just pulled myself away from an edit. that I've been working on right now. So,
can you talk about it, or you gotta wait on it?
Yeah, no. I'm working on a podcast with restaurateur, entrepreneur, and fitness enthusiast named Michael Chernow, and he just had Rob Deerdag on from Fantasy Factory Ridiculousness. So I'm in the process of helping Michael produce and rebrand the podcast a little bit. It's a really good interview. So it's like over 2 hours. So I'm trying to make it flow a little bit differently.
Okay, so I noticed that a lot. You produce a lot of podcasts right now. Like, how many podcasts are you producing currently?
I am responsible for 5 podcasts a week.
A week. What are the podcasts?
Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette.
Okay.
That's twice a week.
Okay.
Talking Shop with Gallows and Anderson and Rocky Romero.
Okay.
Bear With Us with Corey Graves and Carmella.
Okay.
I'm doing the Born or Made with Michael Chernow. Okay. And Wrasslerap.
And Wrasslerap, definitely. For those that don't know, this is one of the geniuses behind Wrasslerap and currently holding the ship and steering it in the direction that it's going with the dope hats and merch and content altogether. Now, I know that you are very linked to the business. How do you manage being impartial during times like this?
I'm Switzerland, bro. I'm Switzerland. I just sit back and root for both, and that's it. I can't, like Renee made a joke on Twitter when what did I say? What did I say? Something about like, oh man, the Good Brothers are on TV. Too sweet, heard around the world. And she was like, no. She just texted. She tweeted no because they attacked Mox.
Right.
So I just pretend to be Switzerland where I'm like, I can't mess up their paychecks.
Right. But then you do like Wrasslerap. I'm looking like, how do you stay impartial through all of this AEW versus WWE? No, now it's AEW versus Impact and New Japan and like.
Well, I don't believe that it's competition or a war, so to speak. I think first off, I think it's good for wrestling fans.
Definitely.
I think that's the most important thing. We big shout out to Phil Lindsay and him, one great writer. I just seen him pop up.
Yeah, that's one of my boys again.
Dred Grossman, man, it's a good dude. I don't believe in that. Like people want to like make that something, but to me, I just think it's nice to see several bridges together. So whether the bridge is Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, or the Good Brothers, you're going to see like multiple cameos and crossovers. Wrestling is a multiverse. The more we start to realize that, I think the better we're going to be off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So to stay impartial, right? I'm normally not a negative person. Like I'm trying to brain train my mind into more positive thoughts, right? It's really easy to be overcritical about everything, right? Just by our surroundings, just given the climate this year alone, politically and socially, there's a lot that you can dissect and pick apart, right? I'm not doing that with my wrestling. My wrestling is a form of escape. My wrestling is a form of something that I want to enjoy and I want to watch.
Right.
So to me, I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to review the stuff that I like. And if there's something that I don't like, I'll speak about it, but I ain't going to be vicious about it. That's not, I'm not in that world. That's not part of me, man. That's not my wave. That's not my steez. And I think that's why, there's been some modicum of success with the brand. And then like professionally for me to work with certain like institutions in the world of pro wrestling.
And honestly, I try to be the same way. Trust me, I try. But I'm one of those people that like you said, I don't feel like it's a war. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with having multiple ways to watch wrestling, right? Like between the week before WrestleMania and then the week after WrestleMania, I think there's wrestling on every single day.
There's wrestling on every single day now.
Right. So I feel like it's great that it's happening, but what irks me is when people start picking sides and start waving flags. I'm like, guys, like it's just, can we just support the wrestlers? Like, can we support what's going on and be happy that we can have a chance to watch this every day and not tear down every single little thing that's happening?
Right. I think that's the thing. I think that's the most important
It
thing.
takes the fun out of it.
It does. There should be a unified front more than anything else. Just because you have a specific taste that you like, hey man, go celebrate that. But you can't say that one is better than the other.
Definitely.
Because there's all different, like, to be cliche, there's all different flavors of ice cream. So.
Exactly. Was you gonna get chocolate versus vanilla next? Like Rocky? No, I like Rocky Mountain.
Right. Well, I don't even eat ice cream, but yeah, I feel you.
So, tell us a little bit more about Wrasslerap. How did you come about with that?
Wrasslerap was a hashtag that started WrestleMania weekend. Oh God, I want to say 24, maybe 25, or maybe even WrestleMania 26. Kaz and a mutual friend of ours, Ernest, created it when they were writing for The Source.
Oh, okay.
And it took off like a puddle of gasoline, and then here we are. Is where it's at. And then there was multiple changes and ins and outs, and I've been the core of it for a hot minute.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been going on for at least how far is I'm gonna say at least 10 years now, right?
I mean, as a podcast,
yeah.
As a podcast, it's been around. We're at 188 or 189 episodes.
Okay.
It's been around for a while, but the hashtag was before that, so I maybe 8 years.
That's dope. Now I know you did some things like in terms of WWE as well, right? Like you worked with them directly. How was that?
I was employed by WWE to help launch and develop their podcasting network that you hear now. So the 2 shows that are in production currently, yeah, I helped create those. I helped also create the initiatives, everything you even see visually. So.
That's dope. Like, how do you get into a field like that?
It was Wrasslerap.
Right.
Podcast.
It was nice.
It was the podcast. The podcast. It's funny. One of the heads of development listened because I had a friend on that he knows.
Okay.
And then that piqued this person's interest to put me. It just piqued his interest, and then I got a call to go to the offices in Connecticut, and I walked out the same day with a job.
That's dope. That's some great things. So for people that's doing podcasts, including us, me and Jenna over here at the Mix Sack Show, that's some great things to hear about. Is it true that you also could credit you for the CrossFit Jesus?
Yeah.
Moniker?
Yes. Yeah. That happened at where were we? It was at SummerSlam 2015. Maybe he was in all white.
Yeah.
He came out when he was facing Cena for the United States Championship. And when you're wearing your big money gear, it's like the white and gold with the gold.
Right.
I don't know. They had this like angelic light hit him when he walked out of the ring, and I was like, I lean over to Kaz and Wale, and I'm like, yo guys, he looks like a CrossFit Jesus. And then like the entire section we were in popped for that, so I just tweeted it, and then flat out.
So there you go. This is the CrossFit Jesus where it came from right here. So outside of wrestling, what else do you like to do?
Lift weights, eat, I guess. I don't know. Really nothing. Yoga. I'm thinking of going to jiu-jitsu with 2 of my friends who are training jiu-jitsu right now. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I need a hobby. So I guess once the world starts to open up again and everybody's vaccinated, I'll figure out what to do if I'm in close proximity with somebody and they're trying to teach me a Kimura or a guillotine. So so that way I can get breathed on without like being paranoid.
Right.
I mean, I am a workaholic and I genuinely enjoy what I do.
Right.
So like I even consider it a hobby. You know what I mean? Like I believe that there's a culture within your work, and your work ethic defines that culture.
Mm-hmm.
And how hard it is that you work defines your success. So sometimes it might be crazy to say, but sometimes hard work is rewarded with more hard work. So like for me, when I was in Georgia producing, helping work on Talk and Shop Mania 2 and producing the podcast out there, I totally lost track of time and I missed a friend's wedding.
Wow.
Because I had to stay an extra day.
Right.
So it totally didn't register. So it's like, to be honest with you right now, Blue, I'm on a different mindset where I'm going to put my personal life aside for everything, and I'm just going to focus on my professional career.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, that's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, sometimes, like you say, sometimes you need to do that. When I was working over at Hot 97, I learned that. And it was I started working at a young age. For me, it was a young age. I was like 25-ish, 26-ish, I want to say.
Right.
And I learned that, and it was just like I was considered an intern, right? But I was running the website for DJ Enough. So, like, it was rebuilding a website because it wasn't really doing that well before I got there. And so I had to hire writers. I had to figure out, concepts and ideas. And through all of that, I lost myself, honestly. Not lose myself like that, but like I put myself into the work through those years.
Right. But what did you feel when you walked out the other side? Were you burnt out? Were you creatively fueled? Did it push you to do more? Or, like, where was your mental when you were at that spot?
I was burnt out.
And rightfully so, I feel you. Rightfully
Like,
so.
after a while, I started figuring out that every 6 months, I had this thing where every 6 months, I would go away for a weekend, not do anything else, just relax by myself, and
Right.
then just come back on Monday and go back to work. And I felt like maybe that wasn't enough because it was one of those things where when I stopped, it was the last day, something happened, and I decided to leave. And then I put the laptop down because it was like midday, whatever the situation happened. Put the laptop down, and I was like, okay, now what do I do? Like,
Yeah,
I have no responsibilities.
yeah, that happened to me when my run with WWE ended. It was a short term, it wasn't
Right,
long term anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
um and there was this inactivity for a while where I got really stuck, and I was like, well, what is my identity? What do I do? Where am I going? What am I?
Yeah,
If I'm not creating and I'm not thinking, or I'm not pushing myself to think in a different type of plane, to push myself, who am I? What am I doing? I just
right.
I came off this really cool thing where I put all my effort into it, and I really worked hard on something, and it
Yep.
was the fruits of my labor really showed.
Yeah,
And so much so that it set up the things that I was doing now. But I guess I needed that time to reassess and reevaluate and to really fuel the things that I'm doing now.
yeah. Like to me, it was kind of the same thing as well. Like, but the only mistake I'll say I did was after I left, I literally put the computer down. I'm like, well, I can play the video game. I haven't played that like in years. I played a video game, and literally I took a year off. And I think that's what kind of like it was a big hiccup in my career. And I was like, maybe I should never took the year off that I did. Like I literally was like, all right, I need to really recharge. Da, da, da. I
Right.
really convinced myself I needed the year, but I feel like that year just like I could have used that momentum that I carried leaving Hot 97 elsewhere with
Not
the creative
necessarily
juices.
true. Not necessarily true, because if you're burnt out and you're really not feeling to do anything, if you're
Right,
feeling listen, if you're listless, you ain't gonna do shit.
right,
So, like, to me, I just wasn't the type of cat that would let the grass grow underneath his feet.
right.
I knew, like, when you're out of the bubble, like, it's quiet.
Yeah,
So you got to create noise so the
yeah.
bubble can actually see what you're doing. And, so I gave myself the Christmas holiday. And then
Mm,
after that, it was off to the races January 1st.
right.
And that was it.
Yeah, I think.
And it didn't stop, in 2019 going into 2020.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like it was the same. I took the year, but even in the year, I still do like little bit things for Epic Records here and there, and
Right.
just to keep it on the flow. And eventually, I guess that's how I came with the idea for this podcast, and then creating like the mixed tag show with Jenna and everything like that. And
Right.
and this is gonna be what 3 years that we've been working on this one.
Yeah.
So it happens. Like, and I love that's the way that the universe works.
Everybody's under the impression that you have to work, 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 and you never get time to unplug. But I think you definitely need the time to unplug to figure out what works for you and how do you feel. You got to have that internal dialogue.
Right.
And look what happened. You took that year off, and then the next thing you created your baby, and it's thriving, and it's an interesting professional wrestling podcast where you have the opinion of two wrestling fans of color, one female,
Right.
and which is unheard of.
Right.
So to sit there and to to have something unique in a completely insulated, very white bread, you know, dominated medium such as wrestling podcast, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing. Right. So, you know, don't look at the year off as, maybe I kind of, you know, it hindered my growth and development. No, I think the reverse. I think your growth and development came from that year because look what you created.
Right. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. And I also you still use those connections that I made up there, and it helped build the brand and get the ideas. Like it just really, you know, at the long run, it always helps. You know, like maybe you do need a breather.
You do. Trust me, you do. Take a break.
How you feel about the? How you feel about the? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, see what you about to
I was just gonna say, if anything, this year with the pandemic and the lockdown has definitely showed everybody, yo, slow it down a little bit. Listen to your head, your heart, get all that in line, you know, get your chakras all together. If your head, your heart, and your belly can like get in sync together, man, you can figure it all out. That's the key to life, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you how many times if my gut was feeling something, and that's your second brain. People don't get it twisted. Like, you know what I mean? When people talk about gut health and bubble guts and all of this stuff, and yo, when your stomach is messed up, your brain's messed up as well. Yeah. So like, trust your intuition is in your stomach. So like, do that and trust it. And you know, this year specifically, it was so important to take time off. Definitely. And to reassess and to reevaluate what really, really fuels you. Because, you know, there was a lot of ways that creative people either could thrive or die in this thing, right? And,
definitely.
And I think Zoom, in a way, changed the way you can podcast. Yeah. Specifically with video content and creating backgrounds and skins and, you know, pull clips and socials. And also at the same time, too, it also gives you an opportunity to really refine and create the fandom that you want within your thing. So now you're curating the type of content you specifically want to create. Now you don't have to keep up with the Joneses and try to get a big name wrestler on your show. You know, I think to me, independent wrestling is where it's at, and that's where a podcaster should get their bones and interview up and coming independent professional wrestlers. I think that's the most important thing. So it's like, take a step back. So yeah, 2020, even though it was crazy and there was a lot of sickness and there was a lot of death, there was a lot of negativity, I think the most important thing that it did give us was a chance to slow down and listen to our hearts and try to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? So.
Yeah, definitely. And there's something that you said, like 2020 definitely brought out a lot for the creators. Like through the 2020 when I was at home, because, you know, during my 9 to 5, we had to be quarantined and, you know, people figuring everything out. I launched my clothing brand where I learned to do, like, I created this and then I created some other joints. Yeah, I have this in the black and white too. I gotta send it to you. Send me your address. I send you a couple.
Please. I want it.
So that's why I created this business and I was doing the podcast. I created Straight Shoot Sundays, and it was like it slowed, like you said, it slowed everything down. It was like, you're idle. This is your time. What can you create?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, this is the time. What do you want to do? And I would do this, do that. And so then you plan it. And that's, I think, that is very good for the creators. And like you said, it created a lot of platforms through the Zoom or whatever other platforms that podcasters are using. It brought the community together, because then you had to not rely on, but now you started working with other people and started listening to other people as well.
Right.
That's the time. So now instead of like, because now before, like you said, you used to have to get a big studio, make sure that the camera angles are correct, make sure the lighting is perfect.
No. Well, listen, I still believe, and I am from the adage of big do first, figure out everything second.
Right.
No, so as long as your audio don't sound like shit, it's a podcast first, visual medium second. Now, maybe that's just because I'm old school and I come from a radio background and I was a radio guy first, you know, and my guy John Sparks has really beat into my head, you know, mixing and mastering and making sure that everything sounds good, because ultimately at the end of the day, people are going to listen on Apple and Spotify before they go to YouTube, you know? So you know, it's like, well, what do you want to use? Do you want to use Audacity? Do you want to use Adobe? Do you want to use, you know, Pro Tools? You know, like, to me, learn everything, because the internet's at your disposal, and there's tons of tutorials you can watch on YouTube and really craft and figure out your sound.
Yeah.
Then you can figure out what you need to do with like lights and this, that, and the third. I tell everybody, listen, the first thing you should do if you want to do a podcast, do what you're doing with the microphone, but save up for a really good one, like a Shure SM7B or the new podcasting one that you could plug into your computer and you can just go, right? If you can afford, you know, an interface and a preamp like a Cloud Lifter, do it, plug it all in, figure it all out. You know what I mean? Because the equipment's important. You get a light ring, you have a Zoom, that's it. Learn how to edit and just go. You know, that was like, a lot of this stuff was trial and error. You know, honestly, you know, even developing.
I'll write that down, by the way. SMSB.
Sure, SM7B. It's like the Joe Rogan microphone, man. Like,
I gotta write that down.
You know, like, you just start, just do. You know, like, I just see somebody in there saying, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start a podcast. Just start it. Just start it. The fuck are you waiting on? Life is small, man. We're only on this rock for a little while. Don't wait. Just do the thing. That's what that's how we started. Like, Wrasslerap started because we just wanted to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was, listen, were we extremely lucky that I was able to use Sirius XM? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, I
used Hot for the first podcast I did.
Like, you get it. You know what I mean? Use it.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't tell us not to use the tools that are at our disposal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Midnight, ain't nobody in the studio.
Nope. Everybody going.
I'm gonna cut a soliloquy for the next hour on like 4 wrestling topics, edit it, and put it up.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You know, and then you figure out, okay, now how do I make it sound good that I'm home and I don't have a multi-million, you know, built-in compressors? Where do I go now? And what do I do? So that's where it comes from. So learn the equipment, learn the technology, and it's affordable stuff. So like, just go, just investigate. That's the best thing I can say.
Sound first.
Yeah. Just jump in, man. It's baptism on the fire.
See, just like our boy said, he started doing interviews just by jumping in his DMs and see what he got, and start lining them up.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Phil, man. He's in the chat. So tell me more about your music side, because I know that you're a connoisseur in a certain beat. Like, when listening to Wrasslerap, like, you love music, and like, you show right here the passion for sound in general.
Right.
Like right now, what do you listen to right now?
I'm a hip hop dude, born and bred. I'm from Staten Island, New York, so obviously it's always Wu all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm very excited for the verses with Ray and Ghost. So I've always been into hip hop. You know, I grew up in a really good time. I grew up in the '90s, man. So you know, I was cleaning out my parents' garage, and I found a whole bunch of vinyl that I thought that, you know, was just non-existent anymore. So now I'm just going back and listening to that, and I'm playing around with the turntables again, you know, because I used to DJ all over New York, and so I'm listening to a lot of old
don't do?
Well, I mean, I like to make money, Blue. So like,
I feel you.
However I could do it, you know, I was DJing at like local like bars and clubs at like 14 years old. So I was just like, I got real lucky, you know, but I got real good at it quick too, you know. I had really good teachers to show me what to do.
See, I did the promoter side. I did the party promoter side.
I just wanted to show up, drink for free, and DJ. So that was, and get paid. So that's what I wanted to do. I never wanted to, like, you know, have a Rolodex of people. My friends wanted to come and hang out. They could come and hang out. What am I listening to right now? Anything Harry Fraud, because I think Fraudy's just legendary. I mean, he has such a rich tone. He has a rich sound. Static Selector has never not put out a subpar project. I mean, they are just gold standard. If you know, and man, so everything Static puts out. I'm really going back and listening to you know, Earth Gang's you know, discography. I'm going back
Right.
and listening to that. You know, I'm re-falling in love with all the Big Crit stuff.
Right.
You know, I'm into that now. You know, I'm even revisiting Smoke DZA stuff. You know,
Right.
DZA's the homie.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's the homie for real.
anything Wale puts out is just, it melts my mind like, you know,
Yeah.
like honey on a hot summer day.
That's like top 3 for me. Like Wale, like in my college days, it was Wale, J. Cole, and Drake.
Right.
And that's like during the mixtape days, and from there it's been like.
Do you get any better? I mean, Wale is brilliant. Wale is brilliant, man.
Yes, very underrated.
Extremely underrated, but he is so good, and he has just this gift to tap into emotion in a way that is just so thought-provoking, and you have to run back a track 6 or 7 times to really understand and appreciate this dude's genius.
Yeah.
You know? If I wanna, like, you know, when I'm on my G shit, I'm bumping Griselda right now. You know, like.
Yeah.
So that's that. But, you know, and then when I get into my Cali mood, you know, it's Nip all day, and, you know, it's Boogie, and, you know, it's just a couple others, you know, like, so I just do that. One of my favorite things to do is just, you know, find new and different MCs to listen to, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I don't really subscribe to the adage of Spotify or like the Apple playlists. I don't really do that. So like if somebody has like a link they want to send me, I'm like, I'll send it to me on YouTube. And then I can just fall into this YouTube like rabbit hole of what I'm listening to. I went back and revisited Onyx again.
Yeah.
You know, like their debut album, and I went on a Twitter spree about why that album is so good, and, you know, like. And I forgot what record it was, but the music video was directed by the lead guitarist in the Cro-Mags. And then it started to dawn on me why the Cro-Mags are a New York City hardcore band.
Okay.
And I'm into like hardcore music. I'm into punk rock. I'm into everything. Like I like jazz too, you know. But listening to Onyx, I realized, oh shit, they have a New York City underground hardcore vibe to them, and no wonder why this video hits as hard as it does. It's because dude from Cro-Mags directed the music video, and I'm like, oh shit, wow, I was all in. I was all in. I was like, this is amazing. You know, and it was also with the conversation that we had, because we had Uncle Ralph McDaniels from Video Music Box on Wrasslerap. You know, big shout out to my co-host, Mighty Vin. Yeah, we had Uncle Ralph on.
Yeah, I gotta check that episode out.
It's a good one, and we talk zero professional
wrestling.
And I like it, because sometimes, man, that's too much wrestling sometimes.
Yeah. That's why, like, it kind of with us too, we kind of start doing maybe every 2 weeks, just not to oversaturate, trying to critique every single week. It gets redundant after a while.
Right. Just, man, you gotta pick what you like. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know what, me and the Mighty Vin, that's my co-host now, it's nice to have somebody to talk to, because I was doing Wrasslerap for a hot minute solo.
Yeah.
So, but that's also the major test to see whether or not you're also very, very good in this game. That if you can hold an audience by yourself, like, you got to do it. There ain't no half stepping. You got to do it on your own. You know, but now I can do this shit blindfolded. That I just want to talk to somebody else, and I always want a revolving door of my friends, tastemakers, and influencers within like the world of what we do, not necessarily the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Like, I want the audience that rocks with us. You know what I mean? Like, coming up, we have DJ Folk coming on. You know, DJ Folk's been on before. He was Jeezy's and Lil Wayne's A&R, and he's a huge AEW fan. So we're going to talk about AEW. But then we're also going to talk about Jeezy. And we're also going to talk about Lil Wayne. And then we're also going to talk about how he stepped away, and now he's working within sneakers. So, you know, that's where it's at. But, yeah, you know, music's always been a huge pivotal part for me with Wrasslerap.
Right.
And we like to do, we were doing for a while a song of the week, and I think we have a
playlist.
We have a playlist. It's on Spotify and Apple. Our girl Kalia was curating curating it for us because I did not have time, and nor do I know how that works. So I'd be like, yo, hun, just do this. And she was like, gotcha, Unc.
Right.
Like, cool. But yeah, big shouts to Kalia. She's a streamer on Twitch. You can follow her, Kalia Chronicles. And man, we're just doing these mixes with my boy GJ Juggy from Salt Lake City. And
heavy hitter. That's why I used to run into heavy hitters. Look at that.
Yeah, Joe's part of heavy hitters, man. And we we'll figure out like, okay, like this week we did a Fuji's mix, right? Because it was 25 years since the score. So yeah, you want to feel old, right?
Yeah, I still listen to Fuji's to this day.
Yeah,
I know my wife be getting mad at me. I be playing all these old music in the car. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, man. This is my era. This is what I love. Like,
right.
I'm Haitian. Like, I gotta rock.
You gotta rock with it. And it was such a rich sound too.
Yeah,
it was a different album than at the time too. You know what I mean? Specifically that it was also female led.
Yeah.
In terms of their most powerful single. You know? So to see Lauryn Hill shine, what a great time. That's all I gotta say. What a great time.
This education of Lauryn Hill to this day.
It's so different now, man. It's so different now, right? And I'm into it, and I appreciate like how music changes and evolves or de-evolves, so you can like figure it out. But I can't play something that don't hit me here. So everything you hear on Wrasslerap, and we'll play new records. Yeah. But the record's got to mean something. Like you go back and listen to our Christmas episode. We did it was a 2-hour episode, and we're doing like 10-minute blocks of just music.
That's dope. Yeah, now, how do you get away with that on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that? Okay, I got you. All right, don't talk about it. Got it.
I don't know, man. I guess we're just under the radar.
Yeah. It's fine. It happened. But yeah, like definitely, like I feel like, and that's why I always loved listening to you guys, even when Kaz was on. Is that it's always just not wrestling; it's everything around wrestling and everything that we're connecting to. Like you said, whether it be music. Sometimes I'll be catching you guys about movies. I'm a big movie buff. Like I love watching movies. I love watching TV shows. Like I can stay in the house all day and have a whole bunch of movies just to watch in the house. Like that's what I do. And it's just refreshing listening to you guys talk about those different things, even though it's called Wrasslerap.
Right. Well, you know what it is. Wrasslerap is to me how it has homogenized and adapted and evolved has always been the human social condition of how you interact with everybody.
Yeah.
So, I'll watch Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze every time it's on TV. So, that became a running joke with me and Rocky Romero.
Right.
So now we've talked about it on Talking Shop.
Right.
I'm a big Rocky guy, so we talk about that. I like the Marvel stuff. I like the DC stuff. I just watched Boss Gang with Frank Grillo on Hulu. Really good film. It's a good action film. I liked
Boss Gang.
Yeah. I watched him on Kingdom. It's on Netflix right now. Like I'm revisiting Thundercats. Like, you know what I mean? Like instead of buying sneakers right now, I'm buying Masters of the Universe action figures. So it's like, it's just there's just so much to talk about. Where it's like, all right, if we can give attention to that for maybe 10 minutes on the front or 10 minutes on the back end of a wrestling podcast, great. But there's always some things you got to remember. You got to set the table. Music is always an important thing. So when we discuss at the end of the episode why this record, or why this collection of records put us in a vibe, and we're gonna talk about that. Like Ghostface is one of my favorite rappers of all time. He might be in my number one, and I got a chance to work with him, with my buddy K-Slack, on a song for More Fish. So it was like, so like there were times when I'm sitting there and I'm listening to these albums. I was in the studio with them. Yeah. I was with him. I was with Trife. I'm sitting there and I'm listening. Juggy. Speaking of Juggy.
Shout out to Juggy, yo. Heavy it is.
But it's just, man, figure out what you like to talk about. Bullet point it. Give it time and attention. Don't beat a dead horse and just do it. Alyssa Marino's in here. That girl is a genius. I think she's super cool. She does Let's Get Serial. where she
Really?
sits and she talks about stuff and she eats cereal. I think she is so dynamic. And I
I
told
gotta,
Alyssa this because I want to have Alyssa on, but on Wrasslerap. But the simple concept of having a breakfast food and having a conversation with somebody or just with yourself,
right.
I find fascinating. And she's so entertaining and she's so good that you should check out Let's Get Cereal on Alyssa Marino's
Hold on,
page.
time out real quick. Tell us real quick. Do you pour your milk first or your cereal? Because I get flack for what I do.
To be honest with you, man, I just started eating cereal again, and I eat the most tasteless. Like I'm eating it for like gut health and like the whole nine. And
Right.
I pour the contents in first, and then I pour the flax milk because I don't do dairy is scary.
Right.
So I don't do that. So what do you do? So you pour the milk first, and
Yeah,
then
so I
you
drink
put the
almond milk.
contents in?
So I put the milk first, and then I put the cereal. Because then if the cereal's going, I feel like I just put more cereal to the milk. No,
Right.
milk first.
No, see, this is the cereal expert. Alyssa Marino's the cereal expert.
I've been called a serial killer because I put milk first.
You know what I was doing for a while because I'm allergic to almonds, so I can't have that, right?
Okay.
And I just got into like the oat milks and like the flax milks, but like I have severe food allergies, so I got to be really, really careful about what I have.
Right.
Dude, I was putting orange juice in it for a hot minute. I was just eating cereal with orange juice.
How did that work?
It tasted like shit.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I just stopped eating cereal. I just started making oatmeal in the morning. Like,
so you have to make oatmeal with water?
yeah.
Oh, that's the word.
Yeah, but luckily for me, like, you know, you can make the acai bowls and then you have a whole lot of fruit. So, like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it helps you out.
Yeah.
See, I'm on this health tip now because I'm on a journey to lose 70 pounds, right?
Okay, so what are you doing for that?
So right now I'm down like I did it. It's been a week. I'm down like 8 or 9 pounds right now.
Okay,
right?
great. Congratulations.
Thank you. So what I've been doing is I changed my eating habits where I eat mainly like grilled chicken in the air fryer, spinach. That's like my go-to meal. In between, like right now I'm doing an intermittent fasting where I eat between 1 and 9, right?
Right.
And then between 1 and 9, I still eat like very conscious and healthy because I don't want to overdo it. But mainly, I've been trying to avoid starch like pasta and stuff like that. So I eat brown rice, spinach, chicken. I don't eat fish; it kills it. So it's hard, right? I don't have much options.
Right. Well, no, trust me, I know. I'm the same way. I'm plant-based, so I really don't eat much.
Oh, so you're plant-based, so it's even worse for you. Like,
yeah, but you got to celebrate what you can eat and what instead of what you can't eat, and then what you do is you switch it up, right? So like, in terms of like getting your body moving, if you can sweat for 20 to 45 minutes, you're great. You know what I mean? Like, luckily for me, I have like a good group of cats that I work out with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or I'm at the gym at the same time they are. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it also, you know, it also helps that, you know, Machine Gun Carl Anderson with his 28 pack.
Right.
He's there to push me. So I'm like, Machine Gun, what do I do? And he's like, yo, do lunges, walking lunges every day, 15 to 20 minutes. I'm on a 80-day lunge streak.
Wow.
Lunge for 20 minutes, listen to something in your headphones, and just lunge. That's it.
20 minutes.
For 20 minutes.
I've been doing this Beachbody app at night. Like it's 40 minutes. It's the pre-workout or something like that. My wife's been doing it with me. Like I've been doing that at night. At work, when it's downtime, I'll walk around the parking lot. So I'll be making sure I hit 7,500 to like 10,000 steps a day. So that's why I kind of got, I guess, that helped bring it down to like my 8 pounds or whatever. But
look, listen, there is no real secret. All you really got to do is make sure you don't cut the bullshit out of your diet. Refined foods, white starches.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't need sugar. You don't need milk. You don't need wheat. You don't need, like, none of that stuff. Cut all that crap out. Get on some, like, you know, lean meats since you're not plant-based. Get on some lean meats, right? Whole grains like quinoa and rice, brown and white, couscous, the whole nine, whatever, right? Whatever tickles your pickle. And vegetables.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with vegetables.
That's it. And drink a ton of water.
Yeah, I've been drinking a gallon a day.
Great. So you must be peeing clear.
Yes.
Continue on that process. Continue to pee clear. And make sure that even though you're working on your physical, work on your mental. Do your breath work. I don't know if you know what breath work is. Meditate. Do all that. Write in do some gratitude journaling. You know, figure out what quantitative data makes your day a little bit easier, so you're not like, damn, I want to fucking eat like, 28 Kit Kat bars right now.
Right.
You know, and watch, man, you'll improve. Like I've been on a 40-day no bullshit anything, like, because I have a sweet tooth, so I like anything chocolate, and I'm like, all right, I gotta, but I've noticed when I was overeating chocolate, or just even certain chocolate, like a little bit of chocolate, my anxiety would start to rise. I was like, oh. So then I had to Google, and I was reading, like, medical journals about the correlation between anxiety and sugar, and how sugar is just as addictive as cocaine, because it hits the same levels of dopamine in your brain. Right. It triggers like those levels. Yeah. I was like, okay, we out. We ain't doing it.
Yeah, the only thing I drink a ton, like I said, I do a gallon of water a day. For dinner, to treat myself, maybe I'll have like a diet Snapple, because it has like 10 calories and nothing else, like herbal tea and the Snapple, the diet Snapples. But other than that,
I don't drink them, but I'm a plain dude, man. Like, like if I like go out and I'll have a decadent meal, but that's very rare and in between, and that's that. Like, so like, but man, you treat yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? Like,
that's my treat right there. Is the diet Snapple with no sugars, no 10 calories, and that's it. I'm like, all right, bet.
Continue on the path, bro, with your body, and you'll be fine, man. Move.
Thank you.
If you get movement, you good. So
Well, I might go for a walk after this, to be honest.
That's what's up.
Just to close this out, because we usually do this for like 30, 45 minutes, having a great conversation. Tell us a little bit about Brody Lee, because I know you guys had a very special relationship, and I know he meant the world to you. And I've read so many great things about this man.
Okay, so I will. All right, I'm not gonna. It's hard to talk about him.
Right. Just a little bit. You don't have to go too much. I don't wanna.
I loved him. Mm-hmm. He was a driving force in my career, and he believed in everything that I did. And by chance, his love for SZA and my love for SZA, we were introduced in a group text with Big E. Mm-hmm. And then it was just every day about everything. Right. And I don't talk to a lot of people. I don't. You know. I keep my squad very, very small. Right. And who am I? Like, I wasn't working at WWE at the time. I was just this regular dude, just working on the things that I was working on, Mm-hmm. And man, they brought me in and just gave me so much love, that I got the greatest wrestling career and the greatest education because of them. And it wasn't even like outside of psychology, just to how to be a better person, how to be a better man. Yeah. And his wife is like a sister. His kids are like my nephews. So they are my nephews. She is my sister. Right. He bought me equipment to really help me get better at what I was doing. Right. And I'm forever grateful for him. He changed my life in such a positive way. I mean, when I was going through some personal shit after I left WWE, it was him and Big E that said, well, hey, we're here for you. Why don't you go and talk to somebody professionally as well? Mm. And that helped. Yeah. Because men don't talk about that stuff to other people. Yeah. And I said, guys, I'm hurting. What do I do? And Brody was just special. When I say he was the greatest big man in the business, man, I'm not bullshitting. He was the greatest big man in the business. wrestled everybody, and he could just style, or he can wrestle on the ground with you. And he was a special man, bro. And I loved him in every single way. I love talking to him about MMA. I love listening to him talk about his kids, talk about his relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and he told me, he's like, yo, when you're ready to settle down, you'll just know. Yeah. And everything it'll just click, you know? And I don't know, he was just a good dude, man. I love him. I miss him. It doesn't feel fucking real.
Yeah.
It does not feel real. You know, I still think one of these days he's just going to be like, hey, guys, I got busy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I miss him. I miss him a lot. And I think about him every day. When I go to church, I light a candle for him. It's my brother. That's it. I love him.
Thank you for sharing that, man. Yeah. I know it's very hard. I've lost, people that's close to me, best friends and everything like that. So I know how hard it is to share that with a lot of people. And I know you get asked that a lot. So that's why I want to pull out so much. Thank you, man. I don't know if you know that, but I've done a couple of things for WWE Shop in terms of skits.
I've watched.
Did you see the one we did for Big E? He loved it. When we did the pancake joint.
Of course. That's brother rating 10 for Brother Couture, bro.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm working on something else for WWE. Hopefully you like it. When it drops, I'll make sure I send it to you first before anything else. Hopefully it picks up.
Please do. You know who you should reach out to and link up with? I think you guys would get along well. Mike Brown.
Mike Brown,
yeah, Mike Brown. He's like the stump the bump dude, and Mike is like this pundit of just wrestling, but he makes these really funny and like super clever videos that I think you guys would be like two peas in a pod.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. I'll add him right now. Make sure I put that in my notes. I got notes from this conversation. That's how you know when you're having a good moment. Is when I just got a bunch of notes. I'm just texting myself right now on the laptop. That's what you keep seeing me go like this. I'm texting myself like, all right, you gotta get this mic. Kingdom, you gotta watch Kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm bringing all these notes because I'm gonna go back and watch this anyway on YouTube and on. If you watch it right now, if you want other people to listen, we're gonna have this on the Spotify's, the other platforms, the YouTubes. I extract it and make sure we have it up there to live, so we can listen to on your ride, whatever the case may be. Because you might not be able to sit here through the entire live, so make sure it's available for you guys.
Right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. If you want to plug in everything, this is your moment. You want to put your ads, whatever. This is your moment.
First off, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on.
No, my pleasure, man.
I don't do a lot of these.
I know you don't. That's why I was like, he's gonna do it. Yeah.
You know, I don't like to talk about myself because it ain't about me. You know, the mission is in the work. Yeah. You know, I like to move in silence.
But that's the thing, though. Not to cut you off, but the thing is that I've seen you work so hard, and I see you do so much behind the scenes. And this is like for real. I literally, and I told Kaz this as well, I admire what you guys do. When I was at Hot and I was working with Enough, I see what Kaz was doing over at the store. And it was just like, and I see what you're doing with Wrasslerap, and it's just one of those things where I have to put you guys on the platform from time to time so you can talk about yourself, because I know y'all not going to do it on your own. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I really admire when we see each other, it's always love. Like if I come to Wally Mania, you make sure that I'm good. Like everything. So I always want to make sure that those people that I look at and I'm like, yo, they're really working and I don't think they get into flowers. Let me create this. Let me put this up there for them so that they could have that platform as well. People could know what they're doing.
Right. Well, thank you, man. That's nice to hear, man. And I'll relay the message back to Kazim as well.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate that. You know, Kaz is doing some really phenomenal shit.
He is.
And he's another one that is a source of inspiration for me as well. But as far as me, you want to follow me? Hey, listen. Follow me on Instagram at Emilio Sparks, EMILIOSPARKS. Same handle on Twitter. Wrasslerap, WRASSLERAP, Twitter and Instagram as well. We have a podcast drops every Saturday. It's hosted by me and the Mighty Vin. You can follow Mighty Vin on Twitter at Mighty Vin, MIGHTYVIN, at VinForte NYC on Instagram. He has another podcast, so if you like New York City hoops, specifically the Knicks and the Nets, check out Split City Pod every Sunday. So you can listen to that. You can also listen to Oral Sessions with Rene Paquette. I produce that. You can listen to Talking Shop with the Good Brothers and Rocky Romero. I produce that. If you want to listen to Bear With Us, hosted by Corey Graves and Carmella, I produce that. If you want to listen to Born or Made with Michael Chernow, I produce that. So, like, there's a couple of things. Even I had my hand in DJ Khaled's The First Ones for the first season. That was an incredible honor and experience to work with. You want to go back and listen to that on Spotify. And no, not Spotify, I'm sorry, Amazon Music, because that was an Amazon Music exclusive. You can listen to that.
That's
so
cool.
I've done some ting-tings. WWE podcasts as well. I helped launch and produce those. So support my brother Big E, support my brother Corey Graves with After the Bell. Listen to those podcasts as well. Listen to this one. Listen to Black Wrestling. Listen to Black Announce Table. Listen to the 8 Show. I don't know, man. Just listen to Cheap Heat. Listen to Not Sam. There's like a ton that you can listen to.
It's a lot.
Just go and support what you like. You want to support me, please do so. I love you. Say hi. Hey, listen, man. I love what you do. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Hit me up.
And that's it, man. And that's how we're closing out today. Again, you can follow me at Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sounds. Make sure you follow the Mixed Tag Show on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere else. We're going to have a new episode dropping for you next week with a preview to the Fast Lane and, a little bit of week recap. And on that note, we out.
Peace. Stay great.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Pleasure, man.